Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thursday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from theuptrend.com. In the pre-market this morning, things are looking pretty rosy so far. Stock index futures and commodities are currently trading above fair value. Now, we are coming into month end. We're also coming into a 3-day long weekend. Both of those usually have a bullish bias to them. Now, to get to the long weekend, we've got to get past some big economic numbers coming out at 8:30. U.S. GDP and U.S. initial jobless claims, both of those numbers could certainly change the tone of the market. Now, looking at some stocks in the news, Supermicro was the biggest loser on the S&P 500 yesterday. The pros gave up control on this stock back in the middle of July, and you can see where up until that point, investors were willing to buy the dips, and then in the middle of July, they started to give up on the stock, and the stock started to move down. So I don't think the market was really surprised. And when I say the market, the people that follow this stock, I don't think they were really surprised at what happened yesterday. We may have to go back down to the lows you can see back at the start of 2024, back around the $300 level before this stock turns around, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, here's something you don't see every day, but the two best performing stocks on the TSX from Wednesday's trading action were a couple of banks. The National Bank and the Royal Bank both made new highs on Wednesday. Now, CIBC is out with earnings this morning. It made a new high yesterday and pulled back. It is currently trading up over 2.5% in New York. So that is looking pretty good for CIBC for Thursday's trading action. Now, CrowdStrike is out with earnings. We're looking for a close below $259.76 on Thursday. It is currently trading just below that level in the pre-market. And then, of course, the world was focused on the NVIDIA earnings. And on Thursday, we're looking for a close below $121.34. It is currently trading below that level in the pre-market. It certainly traded much lower than that earlier. But we have come back and getting pretty close to the lower channel line. So, of course, we're going to wait for 4 p.m. this afternoon to see how the market settles. Looking at the VIX is still on a sell signal right now. We're looking for a close above 1804 on Thursday to give us a buy signal. So far, from what we're seeing in the pre-market, we're not expecting that to happen. Looking at currencies, the Canadian dollar pulled back slightly on Wednesday. The euro pulled back into the channel. We saw money go back into the U.S. dollar index on Wednesday. And of course, a change in the direction of the U.S. dollar index could certainly hurt the stock market. Looking at the bond market, we had a small pullback in the 10-year note and a small gain for the yield, but certainly no change in trend there that would hurt the stock market. Looking at the cryptocurrencies, we're back on a sell signal for Bitcoin, joining Ethereum on a sell signal already. And then moving on to commodity prices, no trend changes here. Copper pulled back yesterday. We saw the copper miners pull back, still on a buy signal, no change there. Gold pulled back yesterday, $15 and change. We've got the TSX, the iShares for the TSX Global Gold Index back on a sell signal as of Wednesday's close. The GDX in New York is still on a buy signal. That would change on Thursday with a close below $38.17. We did see the price of silver pull back and silver miners pull back, but no sell signal just yet. Looking at crude oil pulled back yesterday. We saw energy stocks on the TSX back on a sell signal as of Wednesday's close. In New York, we're still on a buy signal, no change in trend there. Looking at natural gas, we were up slightly on the day, so it looks like the lows from earlier in August are holding, but certainly no change in trend going into Thursday's trading action. Now, coffee prices made a new closing high for this move yesterday, and so you may see the price of your cup of coffee move up over the next few weeks. Moving on to the major index ETFs, starting off with the iShares for the TSX 60. Even with the banks moving higher, the iShares have not been able to hold up that well over the past couple of trading days. We're currently up at the top of the panic zones. An early warning signal has gone off. The pros are still in control, and that is a positive for the TSX. Unfortunately, we ran into our next price target up there at 35.55 and have started to pull back. There's an open gap there that may act as a price magnet. What's very bullish about the TSX is the fact that we recently made a higher high after making a higher low. So if we do start to pull back here, we should be pulling back to higher levels than previously. Of course, we haven't started that yet. Now, for the iShares for the TSX 60, we need to close on Thursday below $34.92 to give us a new daily sell signal. Now, we did see a pullback in the Dow yesterday, but we're still closing above the upper channel line, so not concerned about a sell signal on Thursday. That's also true for the SPY. Both of those ETFs are trading up in the pre-market. There's the equal-weighted S&P 500 doing quite well right now, even though it pulled back yesterday. Now, we're concerned about the triple Qs. They traded through the lower channel line yesterday, but did not close below the lower channel line. So on Thursday, we're looking for a close below $470.09. Now, we are currently trading higher in the pre-market on Thursday morning, so that may not happen. There's the equal-weighted NASDAQ also trading in the channel yesterday. The next generation NASDAQ stocks are doing better at the moment. They're holding up above the upper channel line. And then looking at the technology sector of the S&P 500 itself, you can see we're looking for a close below $218.11 on Thursday to give us a sell signal. For the semiconductors, we were down 1.25% yesterday. Close below $229.20 would give us a sell signal on Thursday. Now, what's working? Well, financials made a new high on both sides of the border on Wednesday, and that is not something we've seen in quite a while. But we've got weakness in technology stocks and financials doing quite well right now. What didn't work yesterday? Well, the Bank of Nova Scotia had a big reversal. It was an inside day. We're down just under 2% on the day. Still on a buy signal, no change there. The Bank of Montreal, on the other hand, continued to move lower on Wednesday, trying to hold the lows from earlier in August. I thought I'd do something a little different this morning and take a look at the stocks that are winning on the TSX 60 and on the Dow 30. For the most part, they're not technology stocks, and that's something that we haven't really witnessed over the past couple of years. We've been expecting the technology sector to pull the market higher. When we look at the winners on the TSX 60, we've got Dollarama, Emera, Gildan Activewear, Hydro One, Loblaws, Manulife, the National Bank, of course, we talked about that earlier, Power Corp, the Royal Bank, and TC Energy. Those have been the big winners on the TSX 60. Looking at the Dow 30, we can start off with American Express making a new high yesterday, a new high for IBM. Now, IBM is not really a technology player anymore. They're more into the world of consulting, and it made a new high on Wednesday. We've got JP Morgan making a new high. We're looking at Coca-Cola making a new high on Wednesday. There's 3M still holding up. We've got the Travelers Group making a new high. Then we've got United Healthcare still up at the top there. And we've got Walmart up at a new high. So those are the stocks that are winning at the moment, and that's something unusual we haven't seen in quite a while. Now, our last chart this morning is Berkshire Hathaway, which has now hit the $1 trillion market cap. So that, of course, is a favorite stock of long-term investors, and so it should be. It is doing very well at the moment. Okay, folks, that's all for this morning's presentation. We saw a lot of volatility after hours last night in regard to NVIDIA. That seems to have settled down this morning, and stock index futures are currently trading higher ahead of those economic numbers coming out at 8:30 this morning. That's all from me this morning. Have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Friday morning.